there isn't a school that I've worked with where diversity wasn't a central part of the website, a central part of the communication strategy, a central aspect of the education process. And the irony of this is that I've found in working in schools that the word diversity often serves as a double-edged sword. And I speak about this in my TEDx talk, the double-edged sword of diversity. And first, for this metaphor to make sense, you have to understand how double-edged sword works. That is, that there's an inner blade and an outer blade. And the idea, of course, is that a skilled double-edged sword person would cause harm to their adversary. But if you don't know how to use a double-edged sword, that the inner blade could also cause harm to you. And I've seen this happen, ironically, in schools, that schools speak about diversity, yet the word diversity often undermines the goals of diversity because people have just very different understandings of the term diversity. And in many countries, the word diversity is either unknown, has a very abstract meaning, or has been politicized in ways that are viewed as antithetical to belonging. So in working with international school communities, it is critical to define diversity before engaging in these efforts. Without defining diversity, quite often, most would understand diversity as either being a proxy for historically marginalized groups or only around gender ideology and LGBTQ+. And I'll speak a bit about each. So first, this idea that diversity is only about historically marginalized groups. In this framing, often we see diversity really meaning different instead of meaning differences. And so there is this group, this normalized group, this unnamed group, and these people are generally viewed as normal. We don't give them a name, but that's how people view them. Any group that falls outside of what is considered normal then becomes the diverse group. This could be students with learning difficulties. This could be students from different ethnic groups, so the non-dominant group. This could be, depending on what country you're in, this could be religious minorities. If you're in a Christian dominant country, then it would be people who are non-Christians. If you're in a place where most people are Muslim, for example, then it would be non-Muslims. But whoever the different group is becomes a diversity in ways that in most of our international schools, most people in our schools don't belong to the groups that are considered different. So that the word diversity doesn't resonate in a meaningful way to most people in the school. So that's the idea again, that diversity means different instead of differences. Secondly, I see diversity, as I mentioned, becoming incredibly political, but also because the way diversity has been framed in many countries, that it only means LGBTQ plus or some gender identity outside of the binary. So there have been many countries where I've worked in Central America and South America, in Europe and Asia, in United States, where if I come as the diversity practitioner, it is assumed, and most frequently amongst parents, that I'm coming to speak specifically about gender issues, and again, non-binary gender issues, not boy issues or girl issues, or only to speak about issues around sexual orientation. Again, in ways when people hear the term diversity, if they're not part of the non-different group, or if they're not part of the non-gender binary group or part of the LGBTQ plus community, people feel as if this is either A, not meaningful to them personally, that they don't receive anything, they're not benefactors from the efforts, or somehow it is an affront to them, an affront to their religion, an affront to their values, an affront to their political beliefs. So the first step in engaging in this work really to cultivate and sustain an inclusive environment for all constituents, all students, all faculty and staff, all parents and care takers, all members of the school community, is to reframe diversity in ways that everyone sees that they are represented and that they have something to contribute and that they also are the benefactors of this work.